Hey everyone, welcome back to Butter Cook Something. Today I'm doing my first recipe that was sent in by a viewer. Steph K sends us baked tortellini with Italian sausage and zucchini, parentheses, remarkably easy. Let's give it a shot. I'm Butter, let's cook something.
You will need 1 pound of ground Italian sausage.
If you can't find ground sausage, then you can get sausage links and just remove the casing and mush that up. Or you can actually get sausage patties and just tear that apart as well. That's actually what I did the first time that I made this. Rip, rip, rip. Works just as well.
1 zucchini, 1 onion.
This ends up being a very colorful dish, especially by the standards of my kitchen. So to enhance that, I went with a red onion. You can obviously use whatever you want.
A 28-ounce can of stewed tomatoes, preferably Italian spice.
The original recipe, as I got it, calls for 19-ounce or 28-ounce can. The most I could find was 14 and a half, so I got a couple of these. It's a little more tomato, but that's totally fine with me. This whole recipe actually came to me as a mixture of imperial units and metric units, so I've done a little bit here, I've done a little bit of rounding up when it comes to it. We're going to end up, this feeds 4 with some leftovers, or 2 with lunch for half the week.
1 teaspoon of oregano, 2 pounds of tortellini, 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese.
We're going to start by cutting up our produce. You can either slice your zucchini or actually dice it up. Since we've got so much that's going to be going into the pan, I figure we're going to dice this up and get it spread out a little more evenly. Also, I'm not a huge fan of the taste of zucchini, so it's kind of more palatable in smaller bites. And then chop up this guy. Let's see, this is episode 10, so we've probably done this like 22 times before counting last season. I use this like all the time, so I'm not showing you. Figure it out yourself. I'll try to take it back. If anybody's got any tips for peeling or skinning an onion really quick, that would be great. I just spent like 2 minutes wrestling with the stupid thing. Next, start warming up a pan, medium heat. Well, I suppose you could have started warming it up ahead of time. But anyway, whoops, that's too much. And toss in your sausage to brown it. And at the same time, we're also going to toss in the vegetables. Break that up just a bit. Obviously, you should have started this warming up ahead of time before you toss this in, but whatever. Then once you've got that sufficiently broken up, while that is still cooking, we are tossing in our vegetables that we've cut up as well, so that they get the chance to cook up while we're also cooking up the meat. Keep stirring this up. The instructions say it should be about 3 minutes until the sausage starts to brown and get nice and cooked, but once the meat is browned, we'll move on to the next step. Medium-high heat. That's just about set. As you can see, we're getting some grease from the sausage coming in at the bottom there. Last time I did this, which was the first time I did this, I drained the grease as a recommendation from Steph. And the dish overall tasted a little on the bland side, aside from, ooh, there was a pocket of sausage, ooh, there was some sausage. So what I'm going to try this time is keeping the grease in there, because the original recipe doesn't say anything about it, and seeing if that'll help to lend some of its flavor to the rest of the dish. So now that's pretty much set. We're going to take our oregano and, what'd you say?
1 teaspoon.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay. So that means I'm just going to sprinkle it in, right? Right. And also add our tomatoes. And this is where the rounding up comes back to bite me, because it's going to be a tight fit in here. Add that all in. Carefully stir it up, and then we're going to bring that back up to a boil. Okay, you're going to take a 2.5 liter or 2.5 quart, no. That's silly because we're rounding up. A 3 liter / 3 quart casserole dish, and we're going to do the rest of our prep in this. To keep with our colorful dish, I got the tricolor tortellini. We're not cooking these ahead of time. As a frozen pasta, it is already cooked, just waiting to be warmed up. That's what the oven's for. Pretend I made it.
No.
Lay these in the bottom of your dish. That'll spread out. Whoosh. Okay, even I admit that one was terrible. Slowly and carefully, all this needs to go over that. Okay, Steph, could you cross your fingers, because mine are kind of occupied. Okay, that went better than I had feared. This Spread that out over the top of the tortellini. And what you should have done before this was preheat your oven to 375. Just put a coating of Parmesan cheese on here. If you want to use measurements, then you do 2 teaspoons of your quarter cup right now, and the rest will go on later. Me, I'm just giving it a sprinkling and calling it a day. That's gonna sit in there for 10 minutes. So all that's doing is just warming up the pasta underneath our layer of meat and veggies, as well as kind of bringing some of the flavors together. Hopefully the grease will impart some of its flavor upon the rest as well. Immediately go ahead and keep your oven on. If it shuts itself off like mine does, keep it on because we're going to be shoving the food right back in there. Retrieve your bounty. I've been playing Assassin's Creed 4, so I think it's influencing me a little too much. Possibly the most delicate part of this entire process is to stir this up one more time. Very carefully, not doing that. Very carefully stirring this up is actually going to take me a couple minutes, so just trust me when I say that I did that. Cut. You'd think I was a guest host making a mess in here. God. Top with the rest of your cheese, or as I'm calling it, another good size sprinkling of it. And we're gonna pop this back in the oven for 10 more minutes. Or until pasta is tender, but I mean, it's kind of hard to test while it's in there, so 10 minutes it is. Make sure you clean that up. Alright, that came out pretty cool. Serve that up, and it's dinner time. Steam, wee! Let's give it the verdict. It definitely does taste a bit better while keeping the grease in, but the star of the show is still, absolutely, the sausage. Still, the prep came out actually easier than I remembered it last time. Obviously the first time it's going to be a little more, what's going on? And kind of surprised me while we were doing it this time. So again, the prep is, in fact, remarkably easy. And it doesn't take that long to stay in the oven either. So for getting started somewhat late on dinner, we're doing pretty good. So here it is. It's tortellini, zucchini, sausage, baked, everything together. I don't know. It needs a snappier name, but it's good. Bottoms up. If you like what you see and taste, feel free to subscribe. All the links are below. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. And I will see you next week. Next week on Boater Cooks Something. I'm Boater.
I'm Chris. Wait.
And that's Mike. And we're gonna be cooking for like a dozen people.
And we're gonna get drunk.
And we're gonna get drunk. We gotta go get some stuff, then we're gonna come back here to the kitchen, and we're gonna have some fucking baked ziti. I'm
Delicious
Boater.
baked ziti.
Let's cook something. A special 45-minute episode.
Does anyone have a preference on pasta
I
brand?
don't
Or
care.
cost? Are we gonna go by cost here?
All of them.
Not store brand. Not that.
True.
Do you need some help getting that off the top shelf, little boy?
Yes, I do.
Sick burn.
And since we're drinking, the last piece of the puzzle.
Alright, what kind of cups do we want though? You get the official solo brand.
Square cups.
UC College.
Square cups.
Square cup? Yeah, square cups. are
Square
best.
cups.
As well as the premiere of the Chronicles of Humanity series trailer. Check back on Tuesday, March 4th for this exciting event. I think it's exciting.